Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time you may be watching it. I'd like to welcome all you guys back to episode 2 of Bumba and the Bear. Insert applause here. Yeah,
Making you
that's
do more
right.
work.
That's right. I'm making you do more work. But
It's fun.
it's super good to have you guys back. My name is Peter, also known as Bumba, and I got my wonderful, superb, fantastic host, Reno, also known as real name Josh, also known as the Bear. We are just happy to have you guys back here. Any opening remarks from you, Reno?
No, I'm glad we actually remembered what episode 2 was. It was actually episode 2, and we didn't just
Yes.
name off something random. But no, it's good. It's good to be here. We're changing up the format now. Well, as you can see, clearly because our lovely faces are not here, that I'm sure
Yes.
you all enjoy. So we're changing out the structure. We actually got all the assets that we need. So
Except we have a singular beat.
yeah,
I will link in the description the wonderful people who made it. Two very close friends. We love it if you would support them, guys. Very close friends. We won't name drop them, but we will. If we'll put their handles, their Instagrams in the bottom. Go support them. They're amazing, wonderful people. We will ask them for permissions. I know it's a lot of friends are watching it, but for anyone who might be from outside of our world, you guys aren't aliens, but you know what I mean. We'll ask their permissions to actually share their names. And yeah, we're just super happy for their wonderful work. But anyways, kicking it off with our first segment, as you guys know, a lot has been going on in the real world. Not none of this AI shenanigans or whatever. And we like
talk
to kick
about
it
AI
off.
later. But
Oh yes, correct. But we'll kick it off with the literal hot topic at hand: Epstein Island. Reno, for
yeah,
the
take it away.
lovely, yeah, for the lovely viewers who might not know what has been going on with the list and all that, please fill in our audience.
Yeah, so to start, if you don't even know what the Epstein Island is, so it's basically just a private island owned by, the late financier Jeffrey Epstein. So he was like a really wealthy guy and also a convicted sex offender who faced multiple like allegations of, sexual abuse of underage girls, and then so the islands basically become infamous like in the public and in the internet. And now there's been a court case, basically, just figuring out who's actually been on the flights there, which famous celebrities, because, Epstein would just use it for like parties and gatherings. And so, but it was like basically rumored that there was a bunch of influential people there. But we never actually got like the actual list. Like he was arrested on 2019, and then like afterwards, like what was it? A month later in jail, like he supposedly died of like suicide. But
Allegedly died.
there's a whole conspiracy theory about it, but we won't get into that this episode. But right, so right now, why it's relevant is because like now there's a public court case, and basically there's been a U.S. judge that's like ordered like the public release of like of all the documents in one of these cases. So that's what everyone's been looking forward to. So
Yes, see what sicko celebrity bastards and rich entrepreneurs and billionaires are going there.
I mean, and that's the issue. Like I have a list. I mean, I won't name everyone, but like it's a pretty extensive list. But I don't, and that came out like 4 days ago as of this recording. But it's like a grain of salt because there's like a bunch of like false documents and false lists. Like there was some list that was like a fake one that was like had like Eminem, had Drake, had Oprah, and like on the list. And I'm like, okay, that'd be kind of crazy if it was, but no. The ones that we actually like do know for certain is like Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton's, obviously the Clintons, Hillary Clinton, Leonardo DiCaprio, Stephen Hawking, Michael Jackson, Kevin Spacey, and then Chris Tucker. I think that's the people like. There's more, way more, but that's like the main people we would know. And
Mr. Donald Trump.
Yes, I was gonna say to many conservatives, this May is there's Trump's there also, but he says. But they say that he's just mentioned, but like he's not alleged of anything. Like the other people named are, like most of them are just alleged of something.
And that's the thing with like this topic as well. It's like the reason why it's so controversial is there are some like confirmed cases and stories of like some of these sick fucks doing some sick things. But then we have people like Donald who like when you hear from the court documents and from like interviews and all that, he was set to go to the island, but he wasn't set to go to like I believe it was the mansion on the island where all the stuff took place. So a lot of crazy, insane things. Like we have Stephen Hawking. This is the funniest thing. Stephen Hawking is one of the smartest humans ever. This guy, his fetish was to watch midgets write on chalkboards that were too high up, try to solve extremely difficult math equations. Who knew blood was freaky like that? Like that is insane.
That's sick, man. Yeah, dude. I mean, like honestly, I think I have a different opinion from everyone about this. Nothing. I'm not okay. I should probably clarify that I'm not justifying it. I'm not gonna spend the next couple of minutes justifying it.
I was about to say, bro's about to lock himself up before
No,
we got
bro.
episode 3.
No, but I'm saying is like, well, it's good that like we're getting these names and like and I hope everyone on the list who's alleged or something actually gets taken to like the law, and and if they are guilty, then they should like spend that time basically, whatever it is. But sometimes I wonder though, it's because like a lot of like these people are like the elite and like people and the comic folk, which is us, like we just see them as like people like that are so rich that they basically lost their moral standard, and that's why they drift into like doing this stuff. But sometimes that makes you wonder if like, is that the only difference between us and the people on the list right now? Is that access, because they had that access?
See,
and Jesus, of course, because they probably don't have Jesus, to be honest.
Yeah, of course. But that's like you raise a very good point. It's like who, as humans, who in society or people that we know would actually become like this just once they've hit a certain status, a certain quota with a certain like amount of money and financial status. Like like essentially my favorite way to define it is fuck off money. Like you have so much money, so much political power that you're like essentially living a whole different lifestyle that most humans might potentially live if they had that same status. It's really interesting, like seeing all these people. Like no one now, obviously the Clintons, we all knew this, and a lot of politicians like they're pieces of shit through and through. So like we know politicians, of course. But you like what was it? Chris Tucker was it, or who was it?
Chris Tucker. Well, he's like the comedian.
Yes, he's key comedian. Stephen Hawking, well-known genius. I don't know what he studied exactly. Part of my ignorance. Prince Andrew, like once again a politician, but he's a prince, bro.
Yeah,
come
part
on,
of the monarch. Man.
Yeah. You have all these people, and it's when you look at it from our perspective, it's like, what would it take for an anyday human to just turn into that? Like, how much money or power or just insanity, like, will it take? And so, like, it really questions, like, do these people have nothing better to do? Or is it that their morals have been broken down so much that they want to only do immoral things? Not all the time, but immoral things like this seem like a normal day to them.
Yeah. And, like, I think that's why, like, there's even the saying, you're only as faithful as your choices. So, like, and that's what, yeah, like, I think, like, there's, scarily enough, like, there's more people, like, walking around that we see every day that if they had that access, they have, like, the capability to go down that dark path that all the people on the list have done. That's crazy. That's, like, it's, like, I think that's true, and, like, but that's just scary to think about, like, just, like, regular old people, like, could have the same potential to do as much, like, harm to other people like these people did, only if, like, they had the opportunity to.
It's also, like, very interesting, like, because this is just one of the larger ones on a larger scale exposed. It makes me wonder, like, are there any other people like Epstein who were holding islands like this? Like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I probably believe there are a ton of crypto millionaires and billionaires who have something like this going on right now. Like, I would not be surprised. Like, because those people are actually mentally insane, I feel like. But it's
For
also,
sure.
it just makes you ponder and think, like, what, like, because we only know so little. The only reason why we knew about this is, I'm pretty sure, like, Epstein just got caught lacking. And because of that, like, all this got exposed. So, it really makes you really think deeply, like, who else could be doing this? Where else in the world? Why would they be doing this? And if anything, does it get even more immoral from there? Like, because this
Yeah.
was just like this was bad enough, but it could get a whole lot worse. You just don't know, like, you don't know someone's true character behind their mask. Like the famous quote. I don't know what famous quote is. I'm gonna butcher it. But it's like everyone has two masks or three masks: one for their family, one for society, and one like that only like the real them, like the true character as a
Yeah.
person. So
And
like
yeah.
yeah, but go on, go on, go on.
I'm gonna say like, and I think because like a lot of people take this situation to basically point the finger at someone that's morally worse than them,
Mm-hmm.
and and I feel like we should instead like take this time to more like reflect on the person that we are, and I don't mean like the person that we present to other people, but like who are you when no one's around, and
Mm-hmm.
and if you believe in God, the only person that knows that person is you and God, right? So
Correct.
and just because like let's be honest, like I know there's like some people that will like condemn the people Epstein and all the people, but let's be honest, like their private web browser history is like not looking much better, to be honest, right?
Yep.
So like you know, so what these people are doing, like that doesn't make you like a better uh sinner, I think is
Mm-hmm.
the choice of words I would use. And again, I'm not saying like this is like a normal thing. Like I'm not trying to lessen the blow of like what moral, like basically like debauchery that these people have been doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like we again, like we were saying, I honestly have to question myself, like if I was in their shoes and was presented the same decision, and without the hindsight, would I make the same decision?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Hopefully not, of course, but
Obviously, hopefully not. But like, and it's like I was talking to like our friend Zaya, and I was like telling him like, yeah, obviously, like I would never do this. He was like, yeah, Reno, but that's like different. You thinking that obviously you wouldn't do this, but actually being in that position to like do that morally reprimandable thing, that's like two different things. So it's kind of hard to like tell until you're actually presented that decision.
exactly. Like, the
And
reason why we live as we live is just because the set of circumstances we're given. The same reason why a poor man lives as a poor man, the way like he or she lives, the way as a rich man lives as a rich man or a rich woman. The position you are in as a human really influences how you act and what side of more like what is your moral compass, more or less. If you
yeah,
grow up your life living the same lifestyle, most likely, you're going to live that lifestyle even when you obtain that status. But for a lot of people who grow up like, immediately rich or in political power,
yeah,
or some who might just have lived in a moral upbringing, but might have lived differently, eventually once they get to that status, they fill the hole that they've been living their whole life with deeds like these that was going on Epstein Island and whatnot.
yeah. And it's like honestly, like I think like the biggest lesson I think we should take away is like again, it's just like reflecting of like who we are when no one's looking. I think we should really like take self inventory
Mm-hmm.
of like what the problems and those hidden addictions or sins. Because I feel like it's those problems that we face by ourselves when in the dark when no one's looking. I think those are the ones like that hold us most back from living like our fullest lives more than
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Mm-hmm. Fair
But
enough.
yeah,
Fair
that
enough.
was that was like my biggest reflection. I think I had.
Yeah. Going back to it though, like the craziest part is on that list, there's actually four names blocked off. So now it also makes me think like, who else? Who are these four names that it's like it's so bad that if these names got leaked, like they had to be blocked. And it just keeps making you think down this rabbit hole, like who truly like is it like maybe Joe Biden? Would not be surprised. Is he on the list, but they just don't want to reveal it because he's the current president, or someone like maybe Justin Trudeau, once again a guy in power, currently in power at least.
Yeah.
It's very intriguing and very. It makes you ponder, like, well, if these people are all fine for being revealed, then like, but there's so names hidden, then like, how much worse can it get?
Yeah.
So it's shocking overall. It's really shocking. It's definitely a lesson, and not only a lesson, but a place of reflection to see yourselves and like really judge your moral compass and be like, hey, like you said, like, and given in that position where I do the same, yes or no,
Yeah.
like that doesn't mean you should judge them less, because at the end of the day, we all are humans. But what they did was wrong.
Yeah.
But you also need to take a step back and evaluate yourself.
Yeah.
Like, and just really be like, maybe I might have done something like that if I were them.
Yep. Yeah, just like one more thing to circle back. Like, I think honestly, like talking about God, I don't know if everyone that's going to be listening actually believes in him, but sometimes I think it's actually a grace and a good thing that God doesn't always immediately like fulfill our desires and all our wants, because sometimes we're just not ready to have the amount of status or wealth or success that we would want in our lives. And again, and like the last thing, it's just like there's no one good but God. Because we, again, like you said, we're all humans. We're all imperfect and incapable of always making the moral choice. Like we'll like slip up eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to say before moving on to the next thing, which is
I don't know. What do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about the one story, or
I think
your choice? You're essentially the story master for this one.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about Gypsy Rose next. I guess it's kind of similar in a morally dark vein. So
So this is a story that he's told me about, and he said, "Oh, Peter, I have like this really crazy story I got to tell you about."
Bro, it's crazy. I'm excited to share it.
Let's hear it. Enough jabbering.
So basically, like this starts off with just like it's like a normal family. Like, I'm gonna like try to present this like how true crime does it the best I can. Mm-hmm. So I just think about like a normal family. It's just like not really normal. She's like a single mom, and then she has like a daughter, and then they're just chilling right now. They're in I forgot the place. We're in the U.S. because like they moved a lot, but I'll talk on that later. So she's like a single mom. She's like struggling because her daughter has a lot of like diseases, basically like muscular dystrophy, epilepsy, severe asthma, sleep apnea, leukemia, and
oh my god,
I'm not gonna keep going because like I could be here for a while. But basically the most important thing is like this. Her daughter is like she's bound to the wheelchair. She's hard to like it's hard for her to do things by herself without the help of someone.
Yeah.
So it's very nice. Their local community, like they came together and then they built that family, like the daughter and the mom, like an accessible home. Just because like the daughter had the disabilities, and then they always like help them out in like different ways, whatever they could. So it's like it really starts off as like a really heartwarming story of like the community coming together. But then suddenly, because they were always like connected, that community, just on Facebook usually, and then one day on June 2015, so a message was posted to the mother's Facebook reading, "The B word is dead." And then another comment saying, "I slashed her to death and took her daughter too. Comma LOL."
Wait. Who said that? Who tweeted that?
I'll keep it going. So okay. so then then everyone was like alerted. They thought like the account was hacked from the first message, and then they saw the second message. So that's when they called the police. Police can't really do anything because they don't have the search warrant, so they can't actually go in the house until a few days later. So according to like the autopsy report, they found the mother. She was dead, stab wounds. And then, but when the police like actually searched the house, like the daughter was nowhere to be found. She wasn't anywhere. So they're searching for like a little while until one of the daughter's friend like tipped off the police that like that, or her name is Gypsy, and that Gypsy had a secret online boyfriend she met on an online Christian dating site. And so then the police tracked the IP from the Facebook post, and it was linked to the boyfriend's house, basically. And he was the one posting all that. And then so they arrested him. He willingly surrendered and gave himself up. And they also found Gypsy at his house. So they interrogate him a little bit, and then he basically indirectly confessed, like he was like, yeah, I was the one like that stabbed the mom, but Gypsy was the one that told me to do that.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
And then, but the most interesting part is like, because the police were shocked because they found Gypsy. She was not in her wheelchair at all. She was walking perfectly fine around the house.
What?
So imagine being like the police, like they're looking into like this murder case, but they also found what was basically a financial scam, basically. So what happened is like the mom was lying to the friends and like the doctors, and even her daughter herself about like Gypsy's health. And what her health conditions were, and whenever doctors got suspicious, like she would just like dip to like another state, county, city. So just like to avoid any suspicion, basically. And like even in like the video that I saw, they had like stacks and stacks of like the false reports she gave to like doctors. And basically, like the mother was medicating like her daughter for like false illnesses, basically. Dude, like she literally had like a feeding tube surgically attached to her stomach. They operated her eyes, her ears.
Oh my god!
And then even her age too, because like when all that happened, like in the videos, like she looks young, like she looks like a kid. But like, and supposing when that stuff happened, she was 20. But like her mom just lied to her, and she was like made and to think she was like 10. So
wait. They made them.
Her mom made the daughter think that she was 10, but she was actually like 20.
Oh my! She like gaslit her to thinking she's 10 years old.
Yeah, I can't pronounce the term, but it's basically like a syndrome that like the mom had. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. So it's like it's a syndrome. It's basically the caretakers like induce or fake their child's illness because they get an emotional gratification from it, from being the parent that takes care of like, a disabled person, someone with a child with a terminal illness. So because she had that, like, that's sick. She basically had like emotional gratification for it. Like she wanted to be known as that mom. She basically just like gaslit, like you said, her daughter, and was basically just like medicating her for illnesses that she didn't have. And she basically convinced her, the doctors, like her communities, that she couldn't walk, basically, and she needed all this stuff.
So was the boyfriend the one that killed her?
The mom, yeah.
Well, her Gypsy was the one who has like, fuck that piece of shit. But where did she learn the truth from? Like that's where I'm confused.
That's where I don't know. Like I haven't. Because right now she's going around. She's been going since October, and she's been like doing like the conferences. She's been on podcasts. Like she's been trying to explain what she like was like her side of the story. Because she got 10 years of prison, right? Because it was a second-degree murder. It was premeditated.
Yeah.
Right, but like she's released now because like they got her like on a plea deal because like there was literally medical evidence of abuse against her. So there's like a weird case of if this self-defense what she did, right? And I have a quote from her, from Gypsy. It was pretty sad, but like she said, I think she would have been the perfect mom for someone that was actually sick, but I'm not sick. That's the big difference. And
that's crazy.
But like as of right now, she's like released from prison, and like I said, she's going like on a press tour. I've heard something about like she's getting a movie deal to talk about everything. And last time I checked, she has like 7.9 million followers on IG.
Oh my god!
And I think that's just because like true crime people have like an infatuation for like murder and those kind of things. So now like they heard this case, now they can actually like get the deep secrets and details about like this case from like the daughter herself that was involved, to just think about like why she did that. So
Interesting.
yeah, and and like obviously like she feels remorseful about it because like she's been like on podcasts like she's saying that like it haunts her like the
Yeah,
fact
no.
that and like she's been like on record saying like it's wrong, like it's morally irreparable, and like I deserve what I had.
Hmm.
But it's interesting because a lot of like the public news sources like while they're interviewing her, they're like, nah, but you weren't actually in the wrong though. And
Crazy.
the, and that's like and that's what there's the conflict now was like it wasn't like self defense basically. And then the question is like, was she receiving bodily harm? Because in a sense she was like being poisoned. Because
Hmm.
I can't imagine like the medications for like the people that have those like illnesses,
Hmm.
and if that was given to like a regular healthy person, I would assume it wouldn't have positive effects on the body.
Yeah.
But then
See, oh, go on. I'll let you finish your point.
no, because she was saying if and but the other side is like saying if she could have contacted the boyfriend, then I don't know how she couldn't have contacted the police. But then that goes
Hmm.
into like the other side is saying, well, like and then in one of her other interviews, she said like she called the police, and basically the mom convinced, because she's like a master manipulator in a sense, and she
Hmm.
convinced them that she was like intellectually disabled and she didn't know what she was saying. And then when she hung up, like the mom threatened to like kill her, basically.
See, like, because that's what I'm thinking too. It's like, why didn't she call the police or do something like that?
Well,
Like,
she did,
why
but
was
yeah,
so she called the police, but what did the police say again?
no, because then the mom basically grabbed the phone and convinced them that she was like intellectually disabled. So she didn't know. So she, obviously, like not to don't believe like the daughter because she doesn't know what she's saying, basically.
But what if she like kept calling them? Like, wouldn't this like apply for a search warrant? Like, it's like, okay, we're getting a ton of calls. Like, isn't this like a little bit worrying at this point?
No, because
Like,
then the mom was like, "I'll kill you if you try to call them again."
yeah,
That's
but
why.
like, see, not this, because I've seen like other stories where like there have been not similar like examples, but like stories where it's like, oh, XXX kid is being held captive. So what they do is they like call like the police and like they tried to do it before, but previously never worked. But now when they do it, it's like it's hard without telling an example. Here's an example. There's this one example of this family of like fucked up piece of shit parents that are essentially holding their kids hostage,
Yep.
and they're intellectually held back because they're always homeschooled, and they get punished, chained up, etc. And they'd be like, "Oh, you can't do anything. If you do anything, like I'll kill you." But one of the girls was brave enough to run away, and run away and actually, call the police, and it applied for warrant. So my question is like, why was she brave enough to take an extra step to do that? Or if she had a boyfriend, why wouldn't the boyfriend call and say like, "Oh, hey, by the way, like this is all a lie. I've been with her. She's perfectly intellectually all there, and I would know because like I'm literally dating her." Like I'm just it's confusing because there were other options. So why did it have
I
to
know
be that?
that's what I'm saying. That's like, and that's why some people were saying like even if the boyfriend didn't call, he could have just like knocked her out at least. Because
Yeah, like
like to be fair, like the mom isn't like physically fit. She's pretty fat, so
mhm.
she wasn't like very healthy. So it's not like she could have chased him on foot or anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And but that, to be fair, like the boyfriend isn't of sound mind either. So I don't want to
Oh.
make that assumption because apparently he was like autistic, and some people were saying that like, oh, Gypsy like manipulated the guy, and there's like
Hmm.
a bunch of stuff. I can't really confirm that
Hmm.
that part of it because I don't know if she didn't say that in her interviews, and that's just kind of speculation.
Mm.
So like, I mean, to be honest, like overall, it's like back we were talking about. Like in hindsight, like yes, you could have said you could have done this or that, but I don't know. Like, what do you even do in that situation? Because like, there's still some things like it's not even clear just by me reading it out.
Yeah.
Like, when did she like figure out that she could walk on her own? Um, was like because I heard some cases that like where the mom made her lie. So maybe I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how long she's known that like she didn't actually have any of the illnesses and she was just playing
Mm-hmm.
along.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bro, because like it's just she's a victim,
Yeah.
obviously, because like her like childhood basically and her teens were just like basically taken away from her, and she
Yeah.
cannot like develop like the same way that any normal kid could.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like a case of like she's like a victim that like turned into like a monster for like a brief while just so she could escape.
Yeah.
I think that like
It
sums it up.
it's also like because you do bring up a fair point. It's like you don't really know what's going on until you're in that position. Also, it's like when you've grown up in such a messed up life and you've never been shown compassion directly from the people who you are called family, right?
Yeah.
So it makes you like ponder and think like we like because like what I said is right. Like why didn't they think of this? Why didn't they do that? But it's also at the same time she was probably so broken
Yeah.
that her and her boyfriend saw this as the only solution to actually free her from like this essentially like torture. This is practically torture because she's
Yeah.
doing bodily harm and doing all these altercations just so she can feel her satisfaction of finding gratitude, not finding gratitude, but like finding like
Yeah.
what is it called? Like that syndrome that she has where like
Yeah. Where
she
she
gets she only
emotional gratification. Yeah. You're right.
yes, emotional gratification. Yeah, that like it's very puzzling. It's messed up, and
Yep.
it's like we won't ever know unless if we were in their shoes, more or less.
Yeah. Dude, it's something else. Like, and to go back on my comment, like about calling her a monster, like I don't mean to like beat her up on it or just like morally reprobate her. Because again, she's done her time. She's done her 10 years.
Mhm.
And she's like remorseful about it. So I'm not like you said, like we were saying before, is like I'm not gonna hold it over her. Like
Yeah.
my only issue is like I don't think it's like I would rather instead of going like on a press tour, like I would, in my opinion, obviously she can do whatever she wants, but
Yeah.
I don't think like being in the environment of prison actually like help her heal from all that.
Hmm.
And it kind of worries me like if she could be so susceptible to like someone else manipulating her in that
Hmm.
industry and just like in like Hollywood as well where that stuff happens.
Yeah.
So it, so I pray that she can be restored and that
Well, it's also like I feel like it's a way for her to build herself back up because she's probably recognized like, hey, like I have nothing now. I have no one. I have no money. Nowhere to go. So she's probably like, this is probably her want to put her story out there and b to kind of because like 7.2 million followers, she's practically like a online celebrity now, not an actual
yeah
celebrity.
micro celebrity, yeah.
Exactly, like a micro celebrity. Like now she's like she has messed up. She definitely recognizes that she's messed up from what you've told me, and now this probably she's probably wants to and is probably trying to build herself back up, and she's probably trying to take using this as a direction to build herself back up. Will she truly do it? I don't know. We just
Yeah,
have to wait
God
and
knows.
see. Well, exactly. Yeah.
Thing I just I part of me feels like the doctors should be like reprimanded as well for what happened,
Mhm.
especially because so many of them like different cities, like there were stacks and stacks of like medical reports.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think like with a case like that, it makes sense to me like why people question or are starting to question like medical experts and expert opinions.
Hmm.
At least like in this sense, because like, dude, if the thing I don't know how crazy of a manipulator she was, or like the mother
Hmm.
was. Was it that, or was it just like the doctors being and the medical professionals being incompetent? I
Well,
don't know.
see, the thing is, when you move so much, I think like that she just had to become untraceable, more or less. Like it was impossible for them to line it all up before it was too late. That's probably the situation that they were in at that point. So like the mom was smart enough. She was fucked, but she was smart enough to figure out how like she can essentially continue the scam and fraud up for as long as she wanted to.
Yeah, I guess it's just like it's so crazy because we think of like fraud like it's financial, and I guess it was, but like I think it's just crazy that like it wasn't even like a greed motive. It was just like purely
like
just for the pleasure of like of being like the caregiver of like a sick child.
Mm-hmm. It's also so crazy that like she was able to find fulfillment and like pleasure and joy from essentially ruining her one and only child's life. Like it is insane in the membrane.
It is, bro. Yeah. Humans are sick, bro.
Yeah.
But speaking of sick, let's move on to the next segment of
sure. Let's see who else is sick.
Of AI girlfriends.
Oh god.
So because I think 2 episodes ago we talked about what was it, dating sims, and like how scientists are basically against it now, or there's been like a lot of studies against it. And but I think like obviously the next step up in the evolution to dating sims is AI girlfriends, or they're called AI companions now. Apologies, because some people just use them for friends, so it's like a broader topic.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I think I should start with like the root cause, or getting close to it, is the loneliness epidemic. And I think it was crazy because I was looking this up, and it says it was literally declared by like medical professionals. But I guess for the last story, take it with a grain of salt. But so basically, it was seen that loneliness can be as equally as damaging to a person's self as smoking. So according to this study, it says loneliness has far-reaching consequences that its impact on health is comparable up to smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Oh my god!
And which is crazy because like in the U.S. like what was it, like 480,000 people died from cigarettes, but like the number of people like dying from suicide is like 4 million in a year. Last year.
Not by loneliness for this article. Is it like referring to like terminal loneliness? Like people think they have no one to talk to, and in some cases people actually just have no one to talk to. Is that what they mean, or is that like just the concept of people thinking that they're alone with their own thoughts, like no one can assist them?
I think it goes over like I think it's more for the general term, because like it's a slippery slope. Because you're right. Because someone can feel lonely and actually suffer from loneliness. It's like you know how some people could be depressed, but like actually not have depression.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's just like trending towards more people suffering from loneliness. Like there's like this other stat that says 1 in 5 men in the U.S. who aren't in a romantic relationship report not having any close friends.
Crazy. 1 in 5. 1 in 5 men. 1 in 5 is crazy.
I know. Again, bro, like it just makes me grateful for the friends that I do have. But like, man, but and that's the thing. It's kind of similar to the to again we were talking about like at the first segment. Like these are like I can't tell walking by in the store and my coworker like who's like suffering from loneliness. It's like you said, like with the 3 masks, right? I can't tell. And like, and some won't even tell like their families, I would assume, like about it. So it's like an invisible like problem in a sense. Both in the sense of like no one really talks about it, and in the sense that like it's hard to identify.
It's also very interesting that like 1 in 5, because you usually think 1 in 10, maybe 1 in 15, but 1 in 5 is very interesting. Reason being is because this shows that the way society is going, people, since everything is being integrated more and more online, I think is one of the key issues. People either lost the ability to socialize or have not been able to develop their ability to socialize. Especially like during COVID, there have been a lot of people who might have not had the opportunity to socialize online, like they had no outs, and maybe have lost family members and close friends and all that. So it's very interesting knowing that, like, will this trend continue from where we are now? Like, will it go from 1 in 5 to 1 in 3? Like, because personally, myself, at least for myself, I don't know anyone who wouldn't have a close friend. But then once again, A, it could be that they're just lying, or not lying, but like it could be what they're displaying to the public, or B, well, there's no B really. They just like I mentioned earlier with the mask analogy. But also it's like it makes me think who in society is suffering from this. Like if I walk into a coffee shop, how many of those people who are by themselves are really having that issue? Because like
Yeah.
at least for myself, living on my own for like 8, 9-ish months by now, there have been times where I have thought, man, I'm lonely. But in reality, I remember that, hey, I'm not really lonely. Technically, right now, like when I'm at home and there's no one to talk to, like in a sense that during that time I'm lonely. But in reality, I always remember that, like, it's not like I'm terminally lonely. Like at the end of the day, I will see people that like I like and I want to hang out with, and I do get the feeling of loneliness. But saying that you don't have a close friend, like, or saying that you don't have close friends, or just in general saying that you're lonely, it's it's just based on how your mental is really built. Like
Yeah.
I'm able to recognize that, but those 1 in 5 men, they maybe don't recognize that, and they don't truly recognize those people that are around them, that they mean more to them than they really think, which is another interesting part of it.
I get you. No, because I feel like in a similar way too. Like, yeah, there are times where like I'm alone and I feel lonely.
Hmm.
But literally like even when like I'm in my house with my family's usually around. Like I still feel like that sometimes. So
Yeah.
I kind of relate, and I think this is like more so like the next I was gonna read. It's more so about like romantically, I think, and
Mm,
and that's not to say that that's not important, but I feel like in our culture, like that's the only thing of importance. When, like you said, like family and friends are important. That's like things that you should be also focusing on. But we
yes.
tend to get hung up like on just the romantic part, right?
Yes.
And it's what's the stat? The stat 50% of single men are not looking or not actively looking for dates or a relationship.
Hmm.
So which is crazy because like and people, at least conservative people, will say like, oh, that's just because uh marriage and traditional values are like less esteemed and valued nowadays, which is true in a sense.
No, definitely, definitely.
But at least from my business perspective, because this is a problem that's like been that has been going on since before COVID, from what I researched,
Hmm.
and but but like you said, COVID also like just like amplified it in a sense because like now we technically we have like a generation of like kids, or like high schooler
Hmm.
kids that like never had like a social like high school experience, maybe like 1 year,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
crazy. Which that just like totally tanks their like social development skills in real
Especially high
life.
school. High school is like elementary school is critical, but high school is very critical because that's where you're kind of transitioning to becoming slowly becoming an adult once you leave.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like I said, like from a business perspective, and I think now with like AI companions and AI girlfriends, like they have like apps, they're monetizing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's stacked against them, to be honest. Like because from a business perspective, like you don't want them to get better. You want them just to stay lonely and continue to consume your product that you have,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And it's right now, especially with like after COVID and just like the remnants of that, it's basically like the field is ripe to basically take advantage of these men, and it's also women
Hmm.
too. Because I don't want to say like it's just the men,
Yeah.
because it's just like a smaller percentage of women
Yeah.
comparatively to men.
And it's the thing is also that, like, because this is like on top with Twitch culture. Like, yeah, people like Amaranth. I know her. She actually has an AI girlfriend like application, and it's fully developed, and it's extremely expensive. But there have been a lot of people who actually have been paying for it, which is the scary part.
Yep. Yep.
Like, I feel like the culture of Twitch and just Twitch in itself, because like now how there's like, oh, there's like what's the thing called, like bikini streams and all that
Yeah.
jazz,
The
right?
hot top streams. Yeah.
Exactly. Like that is also a huge concern of mine because it's like if you look at it such a long time ago, there was like maybe around COVID, maybe it was there, but like before COVID, hot tub streams is like what is that as a concept? Like
Yeah.
having like women's tatas out on stream, like farming free views. Like before, it'd just be The Sims watching like Pokimane or Valkyrie or
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? Like I'm not saying they don't have actual fans, because of course they do, but a large amount consists of these hungry men who are just oogling over them because they're like, oh man, I wish I had a girlfriend like Pokimane. I would let her crush my head between her thighs. And just like those sad pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, no offense to them, of course, but they are sad pieces of shit. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And now it's like it's gone to a point where like you have people like Amaranth who know their audience is like that. They're like, all right, time to scam, and it just goes to like AI girlfriends or the new meta fully topless streams. Like it's insane on where we have come and like how lonely and like socially deprived men and women are, of course. Mostly though, this is like an issue with men because God knows how horny they are. I know how horny they are.
Yeah.
Like it's just how it is, right?
It's unfortunate that that's how it is, but like again, that's just like the fruits of like of our hyper sexualized culture, to be honest. Like it's crazy because like I seen like these AI chatbots be used like, and it's scary, especially because like they're in their infancy.
Mm-hmm.
Like how, I mean, they're not perfect, obviously. There's still like kinks and wait, hold on.
Whoa, hey.
They're still basically duds in the armor, basically of everything. So they're not like as like an actual person. But the fact that it's already like mostly accurate just for something that like in a few years it kind of scares me, like how accurate it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because it might just like overthrow like OnlyFans models, because at least from like the AI girlfriends that I've seen, like you can just like customize them to be like whatever you want.
Yeah.
And if you're bored of it, you can just change what it does. And I mean, people are already conditioned to kind of do that with like I don't think I can say the word with the corn. If you know what I mean. I don't because I don't know if YouTube's gonna go crazy if I do that.
Well, let's just avoid saying that. You guys know it's corn minus the C plus a P.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, and that makes it bad for again, because if they use that stuff and I think I just previously mentioned, that just makes it harder for people to settle down, because like you condition yourself to like, when you get tired of like a person, you don't stay committed. You just find something else, find another video, you find another AI or whatever. So like that, they're basically like they're giving this product to like fulfill that desire and that loneliness, and try to get rid of it, but it just kind of like puts them deeper in that hole.
Yeah.
So like the thing they find pleasure for is like the same thing that's like ruining them. And then now it's just like now it's like evolved to like love robots, and I don't want to get into that, bro. Like we're definitely getting into this. And now, but when I saw this, I instantly like thought of like Japan, because like you know the story. I'm sure you've seen like the video. Maybe they've seen it too. Of like the man marrying like Hatsune Miku. That's how you say it?
Hatsume Miku.
Yeah. And he literally has like a whole wedding. They read the vows and everything. They don't have a priest, obviously, because priest is like not pulling up to that. You can imagine being a priest, bishop, and getting that call.
It's like, another wedding, right? I'll take care of it. Yeah, he's marrying Hatsume Miku, or however the fuck you pronounce it. And he's like, oh, who's it? Sounds like a lovely lady. It's animated character.
Yeah, he has this like a plushie. So yeah,
oh god,
yeah, it's not ordained. Yeah, and yeah, but like that makes me wonder. And I talked to this to Ryan before, and he says like I think like, is that coming over to like the West or that kind of stuff? He says no, but like I'm a bit more pessimistic than him in this sense.
Yeah, I don't see men being, at least in the West, being like that down bad, and like where it's like. There have been examples where like people married inanimate objects and all that, but like at the end of the day, like, I don't think it'll ever become as prominent because Japan just has a lonely epidemic, pretty much. Like, if it's bad in 1 in 5 men here, it's worse there for sure.
I think it is, bro, because I remember seeing like a news story of like this American guy, like he didn't like marry her, but like he basically has like a robot wife,
Mm.
and it's like an anime robot wife. I'll we'll watch
Oh,
it after the podcast, but yeah, no. So to be fair, I don't know,
blood is cooked. Yeah, no, it's
and
kind of like society's kind of raps about go on.
yeah, and I was wondering, like, and I also thought, where do like things like VTubers land, like in this whole spectrum? Do you think?
I think VTubers are fine because they're just too scared to actually show their faces to their audience because they're just insecure. I feel like that's why they do that.
It's
And
true.
it's like because at least like with VTubers, like there's like a character, not a character, like it's an actual person behind it at the end of the day. But
No, but the thing is, like, I've seen videos of like some people like faking it. That's like it's just like a 40-year-old dude behind it, but it's like a woman VTuber model.
oh god,
No, I see it. It's so funny, bro. He like it's like the
oh I
VTuber,
think I know what
and
like
he
it's
and like the guy flashes like his webcam,
and
and he
then
just
like the filter
flashes
falls
back.
off. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I've seen that before.
dude, that kind of worries me. Look a little bit too.
Do you have like an
But
anime voice filter on?
I don't know how they do it,
how do,
bro.
how do people
I
just fall for it, man?
I've heard like AI like voice mimickers have gotten a lot better too. But
Interesting.
so
I, insert that clip right now because I know exactly what clip you're talking about. Put that in the vid right here and drop it so
yeah,
people get the context.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's also had another point on top of that. It had what was it? It had something to do with like when it comes to that stuff, like AI girlfriends, it just adds upon this like trend where like how men are lonely and all women are fake and all women want the 6'9" beautiful, like because it goes back and forth, like women
Yeah,
have these standards, men have these standards,
yeah,
like it kind of reminds me of, if you ever seen it, where you'll have these chads interview women in public. It's like, all right, give me what you're looking for in a dream man, and they're like 6'9", 100,000 a month, blah 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 blah, and it's like, all right, you have a
yeah. I seen
0.001%
that.
chance. Yeah, like the literal like man calculator. And
Yeah,
every time they do it, it's always like, you have less than a 1% chance of finding your dream man. And it's like stuff like that. And now like the AI girlfriend for like the men's side of it, where it's like it worries me, but it also intrigues me. Because it is at the end of the day entertaining to see how sad some people are in a sense. But like, I'm not saying I don't feel bad, of course.
Stephen Hawking with the midgets, bro. That's
Like,
crazy.
that shit was funny, but like, it's also messed up, right? Like, I won't deny it.
The thing is, like, even with like the early evidence and like the early development, like this, it's already shown that like it's not working.
Yeah,
Because like, there's been cases of people of like chat logs of people that buy those AI girlfriends,
yeah.
and then they start verbally abusing the AI girlfriend.
No.
So I'm telling you, bro, like because like they know, bro, they know, like the people using they know deep inside, even if they want to like deny it and they think it's like easier because they don't want to get like rejected, like they know it's not the same as like having an actual human connection.
Oh yeah, no, of course. It's it's very it's very funny how they're just abusing the AI girlfriends because it's like,
Okay.
then would that reflect? No, would that reflect them in an actual relationship now? Like that's what it's getting me to think. It's like, well, what if they had an actual girlfriend? Like, what would they do to the actual girlfriend? It's super intriguing. It's super sad. Like, of course, like you can do nothing but feel bad for them at the end of the day because they're just terminally lonely people. But at the same time, it's like that's just the way society has been constructed. Men think they're terminally lonely, and they just keep saying to themselves, "I'll never be able to talk to a girl." And then girls think that, girls probably think the same thing, but girls also think like all men are are, they're not real men anymore. And, it's just sad how both sides are currently thinking now and how society has degraded both men and women in two different ways and in two different lights, right?
Like the internet, bro. I know it's like an oversimplification, but bro, like just go outside, please. Like,
no, you're right. Yeah, just breathe
like
air, touch grass. I don't know.
I know, but like meeting people, like we think like we're more divided than we actually are in this in a sense. Like even like with people of like I've talked to people with like different beliefs and worldviews and religions, but if I see like if I think about like the interactions about online, I think like oh yeah, anyone with another opinion would probably just kill me if they hear my actual thoughts. But most people are like more reasonable than that because we just see like the extreme versions of it, of like any side or issue. I think like at least my heart with it is like because like those basically what you were describing before is like incels, and
good old incels.
And no, and my heart like has like I have a special place in my heart for them because, dude, if I could have been, I could no, I literally think if life has gone different and I just like didn't find God and have Jesus, I think I could have ended up like them, bro. I realistically see a path where I end up like them, and I just like hate women, and I'm red pilled, and I love Andrew Tate, and I'm in the war room.
Okay, well, low-key, like, don't get me wrong. Some of the things Andrew Tate says is crazy, but he is a funny guy.
Yeah,
and the way he presents himself in a very respectable manner now. Like, not as bad as before. I think like he's more outlandish only because he wanted to grow himself.
Yeah.
But now when you look at like these podcasts, like especially the one with George Yankos.
I love that guy. He's great.
Great guy.
Love
great
that guy.
Another Syrian brother. Grew up in Chicago. Just an amazing person. The only actual individual who's not a piece of shit that was on that Logan Paul, the Impossible podcast. So like when you see the way he presented himself, like he did say some wild stuff, but that was for like entertainment purposes at some point. Some of it might have been true, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But then when you see on some of the stuff that he says, it's very interesting. Like, wow, he actually makes some very fair and valid points. Now, am I saying like what is everything he says correct? No. Does he still have some, morally unpopular concepts and ideas? Yeah. But once again, it comes down to the masks. It comes down to how people present each other. Maybe his mask is like public mask has changed and now he presents himself in a more normal manner. But maybe now he's showing a mask to people in public, which is who he truly was as a person towards his family, especially his brother, and towards his towards himself, and how he acted like, normally, like normal Mr. Andrew.
Yeah, I retract my statement then about Andrew. I think because I'm just so used to him being grouped in the red pill, but he's not actually like no longer in the red pill. I would assume like the red pill's more like Fresh and Fit, Sneeko,
those guys.
That's probably who they fit in with more. Like
Sneeko is not as bad. He's still kind of red pilled, but I mean, brother converted to Islam. Like, hey, you know what? I'm personally not a part of the Islamic faith, but anything that guides you closer towards God is good in my eyes, right? So
religion's good.
Exactly, it gave him more compass, and now he's morally as a person much better than where he was before. Yeah. Fresh and Fit, like those guys are a piece of shit. I fucking hate Fresh and Fit. Like those guys are actually just mongoloids who provide nothing. They provide just purely funny entertainment of how stupid they are, and like. Don't get me wrong, for some points they might have a fair reasoning behind it, but they're just so red-pilled that like what they say sometimes is extremely like them just purely hating women or them just purely hating incel men or like men that like might present themselves as more feminine, right? Like it's I hate those guys. I'm not a fan of them.
I think we should also like again like a lot of the viewers are incels, so like the red pill people, and. I think we should like try to like show compassion to those people. I think, in the sense, because like sometimes we get caught up in like our own status, and we usually don't. Like most people wouldn't want to be associated with like an intel that like talks about how much he likes Fresh and Fit and repeats their talking points. But I think like just putting aside ourselves and just because you never know like how much your friendship with like one person could just radically impact their life and change the trajectory.
Fair.
So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I would love to like be more friends.
Sorry. Something happened. Yeah, but go on.
Yeah. No, so I would want to be like friends with incels. Just like to talk to them. Why are you laughing, bro?
No, go
I'm
on,
clipping
bro.
that. That's getting clipped.
No, just you. No. You said like nothing wrong with incels, bro. But just you saying that just made me like out of context. That could be very funny.
That's messed up, man.
I want to be friends with him. Like, come on.
I know, come on, bro. Like, no.
No, you want to be friends with them because you want to make them into better people, and like they might actually have intriguing personalities. Like, I get that, but you just saying that is what made me laugh. Because like with no context behind it, like
that's the problem. That's the problem, though. Like we need to
start making clips. We need to start making clips. I'm gonna clip that, and I'm gonna be like, just no context. I want to be friends with incel. Like that's funny. It's funny, but you are right. Like I do get the point you're making.
Yeah, but that's the problem though. Like, because no one takes them seriously, and like but like they're like people too. That's what I'm saying. But like they're basically just the butt of like the internet, basically nowadays.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
Because they don't have any close friends. But like I want to be close friends with them.
There are people who, like you said, don't have a lot of friends, and I feel like are just a bit lost in life. But once they have people who can guide them, realize that like they have to open their own eyes, but they just need some assistance at the same time. Once they get out of that, then they'll go probably from red pill incels, low loser reverse chads to normal humans. Hopefully, of course.
Nice. Because but that's the issue though. Because like most people just like society just kind of gives up on them. They're like, oh well. Because like I've heard people be like, well, like they have girlfriends. Like, yeah, just let them. Like they're not gonna like make friends or like
that's messed up, man. You can't give up on a person like that.
Yeah, no, like that's what I mean. I don't want to give up on them.
No, I'm not saying I'm giving up on them. Like they can like honestly finding God is one of the best ways to do it. But you know what? You can only do that with the support of other people. You can only change with the support of other people. Yep. Like not everything is possible by yourself. At the end of the day, you need to recognize when you need help to change to become a better individual.
Yeah. In some situations, bro, like you can only like count on God at some points. So
facts. I
do hope that that's what they do. All right.
No, you're right.
We have a little bit of time left, so
let's talk about some, our famous segment as always, unpopular opinions.
Yeah. So the first one that I had up is if you have played a video game for 1,000+ hours, you have enjoyed the game. Full stop. It's insane to me how many people will put thousands of hours into a game and swear up and down that it sucks. Do you realize how much time 1,000 hours is? It's over 41 days. There's nothing that you could convince me to do for 41 full 24 hours a day that wasn't literally paying me actual money. To me, it shows how impossible it is to please the average gamer these days, and that people will dedicate that amount of time and usually money to a leisure activity, which has thousands of other options, by the way, and swear it's like the worst thing they ever played. The cognitive dissonance is baffling to me.
Yeah, like, because when I say hate League of Legends, do I really hate League of Legends? No. I like the game a lot. The game is fun. But it just pisses me the fuck off sometimes where I just have to say I hate this game. Like, there's truth behind some words I speak where I do hate certain things about the game, but at the end of the day, if you have put over 1,000 hours, man, and you haven't stopped playing it, it's either you're actually terminally addicted and that's your form of gambling, or like you just like the game a lot, and it's probably the latter in that situation. I feel like it's like you like the game a lot, but it's more towards that than hopefully it's a replacement towards gambling. But
jeez. But that makes it. Sorry, I was reading one of the comments. It says, "And if cigarettes had a Steam page, the reviews would be many, but they would be overwhelmingly negative."
True.
It's true. But that made me think. Like, I was thinking like about like my favorite games of all time, and it makes me wonder like if replayability is like an actual factor in my favorite games of or why I consider it to be one of my favorite games. Because if it was like, you would think it'd be like games like 2K, games like League, CS:GO. But like no one ever like says those games are like their favorite games of all time.
No, if you say 2K is one of your favorite games of all time, like NBA 2K or any sports game is your favorite game of all time, well, it depends. Like, okay, no, saying a certain sport game is your favorite, but if you say like the franchise as a whole is your favorite all time, like I think there's something wrong with you. I think you actually just have not played any real video game aside from a sport video game.
Yeah.
But like, if it's something like, man, 2K14 was one of the greatest games of all, like my favorite games of all time. Like a lot of people might just be saying that because it's nostalgic purposes. It's like they actually legitimately enjoyed the game, stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but it made me think like how often, like if you just like thought about your favorite games, like how, or your favorite games of all time, like how often do you go back and replay them?
Well, 2K, like if 2K was one of them, never, because like why would I play the old fucking game when I can play the new one?
Hey, no, I know, you know what I mean though. Like some people say like Mario Galaxy, but like once like the last time you played like Mario Galaxy, you booted up your Wii to play.
No, that's, you make a fair point.
Which you know what? Because it makes me think like I was gonna say this for a segment for like the next podcast or like a future one, but I'm gonna just like tease it out a little bit because I'm not trying to think like if playing like online video games is like it's like a useless venture in a sense. In the sense that at least with Mario Galaxy, there's like a start and end point, right? But the problem with like video games now, I'm not saying all online multiplayer video games are like that, because there's some that like don't do it, but right now they just want to maximize your attention, and you want your attention to be only on that game. But like, there's no endpoint. Like even if you play ranked, because you seen it with like think about Talon. He does like what people like as like league players like dream to do. He like reached challenger multiple. He like reached challenger, and most people like most of the average league player like that's their peak. But he got bored of that, but we still needed to play. So he did what he did. He just like got challenger in every lane. Then now he's like trying to do challenger in another region in Korea or.
I think he's already, maybe not Korea. I think he's done EU. He's one of the best streamers of all time playing the game. But like, I get what you're saying. It's like people want to achieve that goal, that impossible dream goal. But the thing is with at least competitive game wise, because it's very different from solo games and competitive games. Competitive games, 1,000 hours, like you want to hit it, but people just don't want to prove. Like my one friend, like Simon, like I love him, bro. I love him, bro. But like he just is stuck in a rut when it comes to the game. Like he plays the game on autopilot to kill time, which is what a lot of people do. But it's like when you play the game so much and you make no progress. Like, it's like, do you really enjoy the game? Or is it more like, do you enjoy the game because you want to get really good at it? Or do you enjoy the game because it's a way to kill time and you just want to, relax? Yeah. So, like, some people playing over 1,000 hours of leagues, like, that's how they relax. Even if it pissed them the fuck off, like, they found pleasure in doing it.
The thing, though, like, I don't know. Like, but it doesn't, it's not relaxing, though. Like, league's, like, not relaxing.
Yeah.
We played yesterday, bro, and you saw me. I was not relaxed. Okay. I was mauling over my lane. But that's what I mean. But like most people play that, and most people aren't good at league though. That's the issue. And
that's fair.
And if the game's not good for the game's only good when like you win. And I don't think most people win most of the time. So you're not having fun most of the time. And I don't know, because I know some games are like the exception to that. Because like Melee for me is like win or lose, like whatever characters we're playing, whatever stage we're playing, like I'm having fun. Right? But I don't feel that same way with like any of the multiplayer games. I wasn't like that with like Overwatch, or wasn't like that.
Fuck that game. Sorry, go on.
Nice. I wasn't like that with like League or any other multiplayer game. Or even Fortnite too. Like I remember we played Fortnite, bro, and like we won. I literally felt like nothing. I was just like, okay, cool, we won. We're done, I guess. Like, Like I felt nothing, and at least with like with like single player games,
Mm-hmm.
like like the ending is the credits. It's like more so like it's more akin to like a movie in that sense.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like whenever so I'm like, and that's why I have a love hate relationship with like League.
Mm.
Because like because my friends play it, I want to play with my friends. Same thing like a Fortnite. Like the only games to like play like that are like basically online competitive games.
Yeah. Like there's no like there's very few solo games that like have a fun multiplayer,
Yeah, but
right?
I just mean like a online co-op. I think I would differentiate that from like online multiplayer,
Mm.
and I think that's why Lethal Company.
Oh my god, it's such a fun. I haven't played it much, but it is a very fun game. But go on, go
Yeah,
on.
and I think that's why like games like that, or even like is Among Us like that. I guess Among Us is kind of like that in its
Yeah,
time. But like I feel like those games are like a lot more enjoyable in the sense. But sometimes
that's.
I wonder if it's only enjoyable because like you're with friends. Like, does friends make any game enjoyable?
I feel like it is depending on the company. It will really make a game fun because some games aren't that fun, but the company is what makes it fun. So you are correct. You are very
Yeah,
correct.
because like, as I remember, like me, Max, and Atticus playing like Peter Jackson's King Kong on the GameCube,
What the
and
fuck?
we had a great time, and I think that game's like
Huh?
one of our bottom game in on GameCube about on GameCube, bro.
Insert footage of Peter Jackson Kong
Peter
whatever
Jackson's
here
King
right now.
Kong. Was it
Just just
the movie, the game? I don't remember.
just insert some damn
Yeah,
footage,
we'll
bro.
put
Because
it,
I have
and
no idea
it
what
is
you're talking.
poo, bro. And like the game, and I remember I think Max got stuck in like a certain part of it, but we had so much fun playing it.
Mm.
That, and I don't think it's because the game is good. I highly doubt that game is good.
I feel like a lot of bad multiplayer games, or just multiplayer games in general, like you said, it's
No,
the
no, but
company
yeah,
is not
that
what
game was
makes it
single
fun.
player too.
Or even single player, like bad single player games, or just single player games in general. Company is what enhances a game. So once you
Yeah,
achieve 1,000 hours, I feel like it's because a lot of people, even if it's single player games, company is what helps people reach us, whether single player, multiplayer, etc.,
yeah.
etc. But that's at least my take on it. I'm not sure if you have anything else to add on.
I think kind of like video games in general. It's kind of falling off. At least the industry.
Cap. The industry, yeah, but games in general, cap.
Yeah,
This year
no,
was a
no, no.
really good year for games.
No.
Like
Yeah, no.
really
That's what I mean. Like, I think just like the practices and all of that.
nice.
I think we'll just move on to the next one then.
Yeah.
So I totally lost my train of thought. The U.S. has gotten so comfortable that they must create fake problems while sweeping real ones under the rug.
Oh my gosh, conspiracy theorist.
Immigration
And that's
crisis.
just a theory. Oh, by
Please
the
are
way,
tired.
well, not yet. 9 more
Almost.
threes left, but the game theorist is retiring. But
True.
yeah. What was I gonna say? That's a fucking lie. I think people are just so stupid. Like there are real crises in the world that news stations aren't reporting on, but creating fake crises like that's crazy.
Oh yeah, no. But let's hear them out though. Let's see what they say.
Sure. Yeah.
Immigration crisis. Just welcome them in. Drug addictions
Okay,
and
come on, man. Come on, man.
that's what they're
Oh, come
saying,
on,
bro.
man.
Drug addictions and ODs like opioids and fentanyl. That's the police's problem. Mental
Come
health.
on, man.
What?
Oh, keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep
Mental
going.
health crisis and depression rising, especially in males in the youth. Just put them on more antidepressants. They'll be fine.
Oh my god.
Housing and food being affordable. That's the voters' fault for continuing to buy by big name companies or voting this person or that person.
That's fair.
But as soon as Big Josephine is told by her doctor that she needs to cut back on the hamburgers or becomes at risk for her heart attack, that doctor gets called out by their name, gets their license revoked, and canceled on social media for being discriminatory in some shape or form. They are in their car crying because the workplace fired them for not getting rid of their blue dyed hair.
I mean, that last part is correct. Like last part is like absolutely correct. Like there are these like, they're just some people. It's not the government. What did you say? The government or
Oh, doctors. The doctor's telling
Doctors?
them to like lose weight and health
No,
risks.
like you said, the government is who's making the fake problems? The USA or the government?
He didn't just say it. They're just saying that the current problems aren't as big as problems as Big Josephine dying of heart attacks. That's basically, I think that's what he's trying to get at.
Okay.
Like the
Because
political problems are
when he
not.
was like naming like those problems, I'm like, dude, is he against them? Like now I understand. He's bringing up those actual problems, but then blue haired Josephine is like, I'm not fat. I'm thick bone. Like people. Okay, hearing the actual opinion now, because I felt like crazy at first, but hearing the actual opinion now, he is correct.
Yeah.
People are making smaller issues larger than what should be. You know, like my boy Dr. Doofenshmirtz said, "Don't make a mountain hole out of a molehill." That's the situation a lot of people do.
True.
But at the same time, people also like belittle actual really larger problems, which I think this is what this guy's saying. Now, some of these, I don't know what little problems he sees as bigger problems and like are being put on the forefront compared to actual problems. That is where I might find disagreement, but he doesn't make a fair point. A lot of things that people are arguing for nowadays, that personally I myself might not agree with, are not as big of a deal as other current problems. So he is somewhat correct. He is like 90% correct. It just depends on like what are his issues that he does not see as important. Because the example he gave, correct. You should not cancel a doctor and revoke his license just because he said someone is a bit overweight. It's the stats. Like even if America overall has gone fatter than what it was 10 to 20 years ago, there's still a point where you are unhealthy at the weight you are.
Yeah.
So that I can agree with.
So there you go. It started off a little bit crazy, but I think it was pretty well written, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
All right.
for sure.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Bad movies are just important as good movies.
Yeah.
So
Go on.
I know. Okay, no one likes a bad movie unless the film is so bad it's good. But most cinema goers hope that the movie that they're going to see is a good movie. However, I would make the argument that bad movies are just as important as good movies. For starters, when you go to film school, you're often advised by professors to watch movies. Not just good movies, but bad movies as well. And there's a simple reason for that. Because bad movies can teach you just as much as good movies can. In addition to watching good movies and seeing why they work, watching bad movies shows why they don't work. Watching these movies and learning from their mistakes that they made will allow the filmmakers of the future to avoid these mistakes in their own films. Also, there's no yin without the yang. In order to appreciate good movies, you must have bad movies. Watch a movie that is complete and utter dog poop will help you to appreciate the movies that are well made. Okay, and then he's talking about Star Trek. I don't know. I don't think our audience would understand what he's trying to say. No. Basically, that's the point.
I mean, he's absolutely correct, and I feel like it's also the same thing when it comes to entertaining. Bad movies can be just as entertaining as good movies, but because of how bad they are.
Yeah.
Good movies need to exist for a reason, bro. Good movies and bad movies, they play an equal role in the industry.
Do you think movies have gotten better overall, or
no? They've done a lot worse, like really bad. Especially superhero movies, they've gotten really bad. Marvel fell off the face of the earth.
Because it makes you wonder, like, what's gonna happen to like the movie industry? Because do you think people are just still gonna eventually they're just gonna infinitely go to like whatever big marketed and advertised movie is, even if it's bad, or like at some point different people will be like, all right, we're just done with movies, bro. Like you're not gonna make anything like good right now.
That's the thing. Like there's an example in Morbius. Like Morbius got memed on so hard and it was performed so poorly. But the thing is, people like Sony were too stupid to realize that people are memeing on it doesn't mean they want to watch it. So they only have Morbius in for a couple weeks, and they said we're rerunning it in theaters, and it flopped again. It flopped 2 times in a row.
GG's.
Like the industry needs to recognize that. Just in general, they need to recognize when a movie's bad not to pull out. When a movie is bad, to not do those mistakes again. But they also need to continue capitalizing on streaming. We're just living in a streaming world. Big box office movies, like the only way for them to make profit is to have a Disney Plus exclusive. It's only on Disney Plus. or you can watch it early on Disney Plus for like $8 or whatever. Like it's very sleazy, but at the same time, it is just the way that industries like Disney and whatever subsidiary Disney owns and all these other companies have to go now. It sucks, but it's just how it is because the theaters aren't as popular as they used to be.
Yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, because I've heard. I don't know if you heard about like the Taylor Swift quote unquote movie that was just like a concert.
Yes,
And so
I've seen the clips of people dancing around.
So like, I wonder if that's gonna be like the direction for movie theaters now, especially with like the writer's strike. Like, I don't think like there's gonna be less movies produced. Just in general. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens to them. I don't know if they're just gonna go out of business or they're just gonna have to pivot to like sports or something like that.
I don't know, dog. Is this something we have to? It's a you have to. Is this a you have to? Words. It's a you just have to wait and see situation. Oh my god, it took me so long to get that out.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Okay. Time for one more.
All right.
So yeah. Nice. Got removed by the monitors.
GG, you know why?
That one also got removed by the moderators? Okay.
Oh, it's so Jover.
Probably should have. I never seen them. I got their titles.
The backup. Okay, let's see the title.
Literally, the titles were Society keeps trying to date the picture of a person and not the person, which is true.
Yes.
I just gotta screenshot these next time. I did never seen that happen. And the other one is like, I don't know why this one got removed. I love dried chicken.
Oh god. I definitely know why that got removed. Oh my god. That is crazy, bro. Loving dried chicken?
I've never seen like an opinion get removed like that. I thought maybe it's like a political one, but
okay. No, that one's fair to get removed. The dried chicken one is crazy, bro. So come on, you need the spices, you need it to be juicy. None of that. Oh yeah. Do you have a backup for the backup for the backup, or are we just done so right now? Oh, let's go.
Find it somewhere. The anime art style / art design is everywhere, and it's annoying. And it feels like any hardly new things popping up that don't feel or feel like or look like anime. Imagine disliking some style and being forced to see it almost everywhere. There's no escape. But it's not even just like the art / visual style, it's the characters too. They behave like they were recovering from a brain amputation so often that it's absolutely alienating. So even if I'm interested in certain settings and stories, the pure fact of it being anime equals... Okay, all right, so just don't put space. All right, yes. Thanks you. It's just one long word saying no, and never come back, all in one word for me, and I will lose all interest.
Like, fuck you. I don't know. Like that. Like, come on, man. Like, this is applicable to everyone. Like, I get what you're saying, but that's just you crying and bitching. Like, I just don't like this style, and I don't want to see it.
True, but like to be fair, like imagine from like their perspective. Imagine like in the Renaissance era of like art, and then but you were like the one guy that like just for some reason didn't like it, and yet they just see it everywhere, bro. I kind of get why like
man, it's just modern trends. You're not gonna stop trends from trending.
True, unfortunately. Yeah,
I don't know that guy. I feel like that guy's a big goo gaga crybaby, and he's pull up his pants.
I mean, how to say 138 people upvoted it, so I guess
they must have upvoted because of how stupid he is.
Don't say that.
Anyways, do you have any takes on it?
To be honest, I'm starting to get a little bit jaded from anime. Like a little bit. I don't know because I've seen so much of it that, or at least I consume so many like not even just anime, but just like anime art styles. Because he's right, like or the poster's right, like it's like the popular thing right now. I don't know if I'm just kind of like sick of it. I don't know, bro. But he's right on some kind of things.
He's right in a sense, but it's also like just suck it up, man. Like you're not gonna stop. Like I said, you're not gonna stop trends from trending.
And it's also like the internet. Like we have access to like so many different kind of genres, like or even like different kinds of media that we can consume. Like that's why I wanted to watch Lord of the Rings. It's like I wanted to try something like different, something that's out of. You're a hater, bro. You know, I'll talk about it once I'm done. It's 9 hours, so like the whole trilogy. So
yeah,
it's gonna be a while.
Come on, bro. I'd rather watch 9 hours of One Piece in a row than watch the Lord of the Rings. That shit is definitely mid.
I heard it was peak. I heard it's peak movie, so I have to see it. I have to hear it. I have to see it for myself, bro.
You have to see and hear it. You have to.
Yeah, I'm not listening to the Lord of the Ring podcast, so yes, I do have to see it. So I hope it's good, bro. Because I'm just gonna take some time off anime, bro, and just like
imagine you watch it like, man, that shit was garbage.
All right, back to anime. If that's it, it's over, bro. It's lost.
You watch 9 hours of garbage for no reason.
I'm telling you, bro. People, because I always hear like it's one of people's favorite movies. I mean, it has to be that for like a reason, you know, like One Piece.
Fair.
And so I'll find out though. I'll find out, and I'll come back and I'll talk about it. I guess
by the next episode you'll talk about the Lord of the Rings.
Anyways, chill.
Watch all 9 hours for the next one. That's your homework. But yeah, I guess that was our last opinion. So that's thanks once again, guys, for joining us. If you guys have any comments or any feedback you want to give to us, please let us know in the comments. We appreciate you guys joining us as always. But for now, take care. Tell a loved one that you love them back, and peace out.
Be friends with incels.
Yeah, be friends with whatever. Bye.
Bye.